Who was the first man to destroy Federer 5 times in a row? Before Nadal, before Djokovic, there was a man who completely dominated Roger Federer. He made him look vulnerable. His kryptonite, his Achilles heel. 5 matches, 5 losses, 0 answers.
The problem with Nalbandian, he could make you feel very small and very bad because he would completely outplay you from the baseline.
Roger Federer was supposed to reign, but how do you become the best player in the world when you can't beat the one guy who has your number? That man was David Nalbandian. This rivalry would lead to one of the greatest finals tennis has ever seen. Could Federer ever conquer his bogeyman? Or would this ghost haunt him forever? Let's go back to where it all began. 1998, Nalbandian already owned Federer. Junior days, he knew exactly how to dismantle him. Now, the pros. Monte Carlo, 2002. Federer walks onto the clay thinking it's just another early round match. Instead, he gets absolutely demolished 6-2, 6-1. Roger said afterwards,
"I have no idea what happened here. It's a catastrophe."
Most people shrugged it off. Clay wasn't Roger's kingdom, but the pattern was set. A few months later, Basel. Federer's home crowd, his court, his chance to finally win at home after 2 straight finals lost in 2000 and 2001. Nalbandian arrived like an unstoppable force, relentless and precise, came back from a set down and crushes Roger's dream right in front of his own fans. For Federer, it was pure frustration. For Nalbandian, a message, I can beat you anywhere. By early 2003, the young Swiss was supposed to be rising. But in the background, a different story was forming, an anti-Federer who kept blocking his path. Then came the big one, the 2003 Australian Open, their first Grand Slam showdown. Federer walked in as the favorite, finally ready to announce himself to the world. This should have been his moment, but Nalbandian was there again. First set, Nalbandian came out swinging and took it. No big deal, Roger was used to slow starts. Federer struck back, game on. But then, this happened. Third set, Nalbandian went full beast mode and destroyed Federer 6-1. In the fourth set, Roger fired back with his own 6-1 beatdown. The crowd went crazy. This was tennis at its most brutal. Everything came down to the fifth set. Winner takes all. Nalbandian didn't just win, he was ice cold. Every big point, every crucial moment, this guy was surgical. Meanwhile, Federer was throwing everything he had at him, but he just couldn't crack the code. And just like that, what had started as a couple of losses had become a growing problem for Roger Federer. How long could Nalbandian keep this hold over the rising Swiss star? Wimbledon 2003, finally. Federer lifts his first Grand Slam trophy, the breakthrough the tennis world had been waiting for. The Swiss maestro has arrived. Now surely, the Nalbandian nightmare is over, right? Roger's a champion now. Different league, different mindset. Wrong. Just weeks later, they met again. This time on hard courts. 2 tight tie breaks, the same result. Nalbandian beat Federer again, 4-0 head-to-head. Even Roger admitted,
David is a tough matchup for me. The results confirm that. I'm still to beat him in the seniors.
Y para mí en ese momento Roger tenía un revés que no era tan bueno, que no es el que tuvo después. Al yo devolver bien, al poder encontrar el revés suyo desde cualquier lado de la cancha, así que trataba de sacarlo por ahí. A él no le gustaba mucho. Después cuando mejoró se complicó. Prácticamente imbatible, ¿no? No, prácticamente no.
And then comes the ultimate test. US Open 2003 fourth round. Picture it. Arthur Ashe Stadium, 23,000 screaming fans. Federer walks in as the fresh Wimbledon champion, ready to prove he's past his demons. Across the net sits Nalbandian, smiling as if to say, not today, champ. Rain delays. The tension hung heavy, almost suffocating in the charged air. New York's electric. Federer started strong, taking the set 6-3, but cracks appeared, especially on his forehand volleys. Second set, Nalbandian pounced. In minutes, it was 5-0 for David. Roger changed his shirt, tried to change the vibe, clawed back to 5-all, saved 2 set points, only to win just 1 point in the tiebreak. The Argentine was reading Roger's serve like it's written in giant letters. Third set, Nalbandian was playing chess. Federer tried mixing heights, hiding directions, attacking only when David was off balance. Sometimes it worked. Most times, the Argentine read it, punished the second serve, and nailed that backhand down the line again and again. With 2-1 in hand, David struck early on the return and never let go. Every hesitation from Roger at the forehand volley was punished. Nalbandian kept mixing it up. Deep returns, slices to slow the pace, and that sudden backhand down the line. It ended with a ruthless return game. Break and match. Final score, 3-6, 7-6, 6-4, 6-3. Federer walks off shaking his head like a man who's seen his own ghost. The press starts calling him Federer's Bogeyman. They wrote that Nalbandian's scrambling style left the Swiss angry and exasperated. Even Nalbandian laughed at his own dominance.
I like playing against him. What can I say? I like his game. I don't know exactly why.
5 straight wins. Nalbandian was fast becoming Federer's nightmare on the ATP Tour. He wasn't just another tough opponent. He was Roger's first true bogeyman in the pros. Federer wasn't yet in his prime, sure, but the truth is this. Throughout their entire rivalry, Roger still held the higher ranking and still couldn't beat him.
I guess I am struggling against him. I just cannot find the key, no matter what I try.
Nalbandian had put together the longest winning streak over Federer of anyone in his career, a mark only later matched by Nadal and Djokovic. Not only the press, it became a growing murmur on forums and in locker rooms alike. Threads burned with comments like, "David owns Roger." For many, Federer looked like a future world #1, but with an unsolvable dark shadow blocking his path. Could Roger Federer ever beat David Nalbandian? Houston, 2003. End of the season. And Houston, we have a problem. 5 matches, 5 losses.
The problem with Nalbandian, he could make you feel very small and very bad because he would completely outplay you from the baseline with his incredible anticipation and forehand and backhand, the understanding of the game, his transition game, that also was excellent.
But then, the script doesn't just change, it gets completely rewritten. Federer doesn't just beat Nalbandian, he demolishes him. 6-3, 6-love, clean. Ruthless, surgical. For the first time in his career, Roger walks off the court having beaten David Nalbandian, and you can see the relief on his face. Fast forward to 2004, Grand Slam stage again. Australian Open quarterfinals, 2004. But this time, Roger walks in different. He's cracked the code. He knows he can win. He starts on fire, dictating rallies, moving Nalbandian around like a puppet. Then, at 5-5 in the first set, the old demons creep back in. Double fault. 2 break points staring him down. In the old days, this is where Roger would crumble. But not today. Ace. Another ace. Third ace. Fourth ace. 4 straight aces when it mattered most. That's not tennis. That's pure mental domination. After grinding through those rallies, Federer takes the first set. Now you can see something different in Nalbandian. Impatience creeping into his shots. Roger capitalizes and takes the second set. The crowd's going mental. This is the battle they came to see. Late in the third set, Nalbandian makes one last desperate push. That lethal backhand down the line, boom, breaks Federer for 6-5. He serves it out to force a 4th set. Now Roger wasn't just playing tennis, he was unleashed, brimming with newfound confidence. Up 5-3 30-all, he unleashes 2 more monster serves and closes it out. He doesn't just win the match, he snaps the curse. He goes on to win the whole tournament. From this victory on, Federer began to dominate the tour. 3 Grand Slams in 2004. In 2005, another revenge, the US Open quarterfinal. This time, there was no drama, no doubt. From the very first point, Roger was in total control. steamrolling Nalbandian in straight sets, 6-2, 6-4, 6-1. He finally took his payback on American soil and lifted his second US Open title. But here's the million-dollar question no one could answer yet. Was this just a lucky break? Or had Roger Federer finally figured out how to slay his dragon? At the end of the season came the Masters Cup in Shanghai. But Andy Roddick pulled out injured, and the substitute stepped in. Nalbandian wasn't even supposed to be there.
¿Es verdad que estabas pescando?
Me estaba por ir a pescar.
Ah, no había sido todavía.
No me había ido, tenía el bolso listo para irme al día siguiente, una cosa así, y bueno, me llaman y... La primera llamada era para suplente.
Ah, suplente no ibas.
Entonces le dije, no, suplente no voy, no voy de vacaciones, tenía todo listo para irme y no quería. Así que bueno, pasó un día más y ahí se bajó Roddick, y ahí califiqué y...
In the round robin, the first match put them face to face. Federer won in 3 sets against David Nalbandian. Clean, controlled. It looked like he had finally found and memorized the antidote to the Argentine's game. Curiously, given the group results, both still qualified for the semi-finals. Nalbandian came into the tournament having won just 1 title all season. His record against top 10 players? 1 win, 2 losses. Nobody expected much. But after losing to Federer in his first round-robin match, he reeled off 3 convincing wins over top 10 opposition, beating Coria, Ljubicic and Davydenko without losing a set to make the final. He beat Davydenko 6-love, 7-5 in the semifinals. Federer, for his part, humiliated Gaston Gaudio 6-love, 6-love. 3 bagels in the semifinals? This tournament was weird. Nalbandian still led their head-to-head 5-4, though Federer had won their last 4 matches. The Argentine's week gave him confidence. The Swiss was truly at an incredible level. Unstoppable. He was playing the final to equal McEnroe's best season. This was supposed to be a coronation. He carried a record 24 consecutive final wins, the longest streak in history. The match began with a statement of intent. A backhand from Nalbandian in the very first game gave him a break. Federer broke straight back. War. After 2 more breaks, the set went to a tie-break. Showing his class, Federer took the first point, but Nalbandian displayed his skills at the net. Finally, the Swiss, with a bit of luck, took the first set 7-6. The Argentine didn't fold and kept playing great tennis, but the Swiss didn't drop his level. He got the break, frustrating the Argentine. Nalbandian returned to the plan of aggressive returns and finally managed to level at 4-all. His confidence was rising, playing tremendous points, but the number 1 was still across the net and pushed the second set to a tie-break. In the breaker, Nalbandian began with a disguised drop shot that surprised the Swiss. Ice-focused, followed with another drop shot, unsettling the Maestro 2-0. He led 5-3 in serve, but rushed it. 5-6 set point Federer. Another drop shot from the Argentine, 6-all. Nalbandian saved another set point, 7-all. A blistering backhand gave David set point, 8-7, but he squandered it, slamming the ball into the net. Missed. Another chance gone. With a big serve and a forehand, Roger saved another set point. 10-9 Federer. Drop shot from Nalbandian, he scrambles, survives 10-all. The Shanghai crowd is on its feet. New set point for the Argentine, out, 12-11 Federer. Nalbandian hits the net and the number 1 roars after a season full of titles and still hungry for more. 2 sets to love. Both had 3 set points and squandered them all. Nalbandian was brilliant but unrewarded. Federer had lost a 2-0 lead just once to Leighton Hewitt in the 2003 Davis Cup semifinals. With the streak he was on, the match looked over. The 2005 coronation was minutes away. Everyone knew it, except one man.
Había perdido 7-6, 7-6, muy duro.
Con Federer, nada más y nada menos.
Pero esos partidos que decís, lo perdí por 2 puntos. O sea, como estoy 2-0 abajo, puedo estar 2-0 arriba. Y ahí dije, esto no está perdido, todavía falta mucho. Y yo seguí con la misma intensidad, él bajó un poco.
Nalbandian changed into a fiery red shirt for the 3rd set. Federer handed over the first game with a double fault. There was hope. The Argentine was reading the Swiss better and took the set 6-2. Federer held the first game of the 4th, but from there Nalbandian took 6 straight games. The Swiss was clearly feeling the effects of his 84th match of the year and his sore ankle. He called the trainer complaining of exhaustion. 2 sets all. Could Federer recover and fight in the 5th? It didn't look possible. Nalbandian gave him nothing. Aggressive, sharp, relentless. 4-love Argentine. 10 straight games for Nalbandian. The greatest player in the world looked vulnerable, exhausted. 4-love, 30-love.
Le gané fácil los 2 siguientes sets y iba ganando fácil el tercero y bueno, ahí los nervios me jugaron un poco por ahí un poco una mala pasada y se puso durísimo el partido.
Then Federer started swinging for the fences, ripping winners from everywhere. The crowd erupted with every point. Maximum chaos. The Swiss clawed back. 4-1, then 4-2, 4-3, 4-all. He wasn't done. He broke Nalbandian again. Now Roger Federer was serving for the championship at 6-5. 2 points from immortality. Serving in the final game of the season to seal the greatest year in tennis history. 30-love. But Nalbandian, with that effortless two-handed backhand, one of the sweetest two-handers the game has ever seen, broke back to force a tiebreak.
Llegamos al tiebreak y dije, no puedo haber corrido tanto para perderlo ahora el partido.
Definir un máster después de 4 horas.
Digo,
en
lo
un
hubiese,
tiebreak,
perdido,
¿no?
lo hubiese perdido en el tercero 6-2 y chao.
No
lo voy
corría
a perder
tanto.
ahora. Dije, este es el único tiebreak que no puedo perder. Y bueno, gané.
The Argentine stayed on fire in the breaker, grabbed the mini break. Federer, exhausted, dumped 2 balls into the net. 6-3 Nalbandian, 3 match points, and Nalbandian sealed it. Incredible. Unbelievable. The substitute became the champion. The alternate won one of the biggest titles of his career in one of the greatest matches tennis has ever seen. In tennis, it's never over until the last ball is struck.
5th set, it was crazy in Shanghai. Of course, that match goes back into the epic archives for both of us.
After getting destroyed in the 2005 Masters Cup final, one question was eating Roger Federer alive. Could he get revenge on David Nalbandian? The first chance came on the red dirt of Rome. Federer took the opening set, but Nalbandian struck back to level the match. Early in the 3rd set, Nalbandian converted a break point and even led 1-0. And that's when something inside Roger just breaks. He smashes his racket into the clay. This guy, Mr. Perfect, is losing his composure. But instead of folding, Roger channeled the anger. He breaks straight back. The match goes to a tiebreak. And in that pressure cooker moment, Federer beats his demon. A sign that maybe, just maybe, the curse could be lifted. Then came the 2006 Roland Garros semi-final. Nalbandian's best surface, Federer's only missing slam.
I'm positive and I'm optimistic. So far this is one of my best clay court seasons in my life, in my career. So I hope it's going to pay off today.
It looked like a classic in the making. David came out firing, aggressive returns, winners from both wings, and a double break to take the first set 6-3. In the 2nd set, he broke early again for 3-love, while Federer's face turned grim. But the match flipped. Roger created his first break points at love 40, and Nalbandian handed over the game with a double fault. Federer clawed back and leveled the match. Behind the scenes, Nalbandian's body was betraying him. An abdominal issue from the previous round began to flare up. In the 3rd set, Federer broke immediately, then scored a double break for 5-2. David could barely move and was forced to retire. Roger advanced to his first French Open final. But even he knows the truth. This wasn't the win he wanted. And to this day, fans still ask, what if Nalbandian had stayed healthy? The tone of the rivalry kept shifting. In Madrid, Federer handed Nalbandian a bagel, 6-4, 6-love. The vengeance was in full swing. By year's end, they met again at the Masters Cup. Nalbandian, the defending champion, Federer, the man who had learned his lesson. David took the first set. Then Federer unleashes hell. 2 crushing 6-1 sets. Absolute domination. 4 matches in 2006. 4 wins for Federer. The tide had turned, but soon David Nalbandian would pull off a feat that would enter the history books. A feat so rare, it's never been matched. Madrid, 2007. David Nalbandian was about to do something that had never been done before, and never has been since. By 2007, Nalbandian was the forgotten man. Talented, yes, but inconsistent. The guy who could beat anyone on his day, but rarely had those days back-to-back. Madrid would change everything. Quarterfinals, Rafael Nadal, World No.2, playing at home, in front of his crowd, the man who'd already won this tournament in 2005. Sure, it was indoor hard court, not clay, but Nadal was still the heavy favorite. Everyone expected a battle. They got a massacre. Nalbandian's backhand was absolutely on fire. He dictated every single point. 6-1, 6-2. Silence in Spain. Astonishing. Next, Novak Djokovic, World No.3, the future of tennis. But the Argentine was locked in. First set, done. Second set, David saved a set point, forced a tiebreak. Nalbandian was ice cold, clinical, unstoppable. He sealed another stunning victory, 6-4, 7-6, earning his place in the final. Then came Roger Federer, World No.1, the man who'd beaten Nalbandian 4 straight times. They'd met in a final once before, the 2005 Masters Cup. Federer's heartbreak. Could lightning strike twice? Federer dominated early, 6-1. Business as usual, right? Wrong. Nalbandian flipped the script, found his rhythm, started blasting winners from everywhere. Second set, 6-4 Argentine. The tension was suffocating. Could he do it again? Beat the world No.1 in a final? Third set. Nalbandian took control from the start. Federer looked lost, chasing shadows. And when Nalbandian closed it at the net, history was written. He had beaten Nadal, Djokovic, and Federer, the entire big three, in the same tournament. Something nobody had ever done before. And with Federer and Nadal gone, that record is sealed forever. His first Masters 1000 title, won in the most impossible way imaginable.
But you know, David's a good return player, and when he's confident, he really picks up on the other guy's serve very well. And you know, he's giving me some hard matches before, so I knew it was going to be difficult for me. But that he played that well, you know, a bit of a surprise maybe, but he's had a great tournament, beating the best players this week.
When David Nalbandian locked in, he looked like a world No.1. At that time, he was probably the best player never to win a Grand Slam.
Además de la final de Wimbledon que ya hablamos, hiciste semifinales en todos los grandes, ¿no? En todos los Grand Slams.
Yo creo que justamente era un jugador completo que me adaptaba a todos lados, pero creo que también a su vez no era especialista en ninguna superficie como eran los tipos que ganaron los Grand Slams.
¿Por eso crees que no?
Para mí por eso
no lograste ganar un Grand Slam.
Ese es un factor y otro que ganar un Grand Slam no es fácil.
But he wasn't done yet. A few weeks later, Paris, round of 16, Federer again. The Swiss wanted revenge, badly. But it was Nalbandian who struck first, broke immediately, took the first set 6-4. The second set got tense, 4-all. Nalbandian broke to love, 5-4. Federer broke back, held for 6-5, and even earned a set point on David's serve. Nalbandian saved it, forced the tiebreak, and shut the door again. That backhand could bother anyone, even Federer in full flow. Then, in the final, he faced the world No.2, Rafael Nadal. Still riding his incredible momentum, the Argentine dismantled him 6-4, 6-love, showcasing his absolute peak form. For the second time that year, Nalbandian had taken down the World No.1 and No.2, back-to-back Masters 1000 titles.
Y bueno, esas 2 semanas fueron semanas increíbles donde sentía que todo lo que hacía lo hacía bien y no había rival. Fue impresionante. Creo que estaba en ese estado que se dice de
iluminado.
Sí, para mí jugaban en cámara lenta todo. Y a mí me salía todo, era una cosa muy loca.
Qué frase, ¿no? Porque estás hablando de Djokovic, de Federer.
Te juro, jugabas
con tiempo contra ellos.
Me sobraba tiempo para jugar con cualquiera. Y no me pasó nunca, me pasó en esas 2 semanas, no me pasó nunca más.
With that level of tennis, David Nalbandian could have been world #1, but he never got there.
Lo que siempre digo es que en el tenis hay que tener no solo talento y no solo buen juego, sino constancia en los triunfos, ¿no? Bueno, Federer en su momento perdió 2 partidos por año, 3 partidos por año.
Sí.
Eso no es normal. Tengo la suerte de decir que compartí era y época con, para mí, el mejor tenista de la historia hasta hoy, que es Federer. Tuve la suerte y tuve la mala suerte de compartir esa época y por ahí no poder llegar a ese objetivo, pero Federer...
With that win, the rivalry stood 8-all, perfectly balanced. By the end of Federer's career, only Nadal, Djokovic, Murray and Hewitt would have more wins against him. 3 matches remained between them. Just 3. Who would win the rivalry? 2008. After years of tension and reversals, Federer and Nalbandian faced each other 2 more times. First, on clay, Monte Carlo, quarterfinals. The Argentine took a tight first set, hitting deep and clean. But Federer adapted, using his drop shot to perfection, breaking David's rhythm and turning the match around. Then came Basel, Federer's home, his kingdom, his crowd. The Swiss was chasing a 3rd straight title there. It was their 3rd career final, and Nalbandian had won the previous 2. History on David's side, right? Not this time. Federer was ruthless, clinical from start to finish, 6-3, 6-4. No drama, no surprises, just dominance. After that, Nalbandian's body began to break down. Injuries piled up, hip, groin, back. The toll of a long career finally catching up. Their paths stopped crossing. Years passed. The rivalry seemed over, but destiny had one last chapter left. Wimbledon, 2011. The one grand slam where they'd never met. The cathedral of tennis. By then, Federer was a 6-time champion on the grass, a living legend. Nalbandian still had the touch, the hands, that beautiful backhand, but not the legs, not anymore. The Swiss was simply too strong, too experienced, too sharp. He closed the rivalry in straight sets with total authority. From love 5 to 11-8, from the shadow of defeat to mastery. 2 of the most elegant players to ever hold a racket.